Hello and welcome to the chapter on string manipulation. This is the first part of this particular chapter, and in this part we are going to deal with a basic introduction to strings. So let's get started. So first thing is we are going to discuss what is the meaning of strings. So string may be defined as a group of characters enclosed within quotes. So if we have a group of characters, within the group there may be any character, there may be like a floating point number, there may be an integer, there may be some alphabets. So if we have a group of characters that is enclosed within quotes, the quotes may be single, double or triple quotes, then we say them to be strings. Alright. For example, if I use the name Raj, if it is enclosed within double quotes, it will be termed as a string. If Raj is enclosed within single quotes, then also it will be termed as a string. Also, if it is enclosed within triple quotes, then also it will be termed as a string itself. Also, any Python object enclosed within quotes are considered as strings even if they consist of numbers. So it's not like that inside the quotes we need to have only alphabets. Inside the quotes you can have numbers also, or a mixture of numbers or other alphabet characters also. For example, if I write 281, normally it is an integer, but if I write 281 within quotes, then it will be termed as a string. Next, in string we have a concept called indexing. Now what is the meaning of indexing in string? Each character in a string consists of a number. That number is known as its index. For example, if I consider a string India, then now see the length of the string. Length of the string means how many characters are there in the string India. If I count I and D, I, A, there are 5 characters in the string India. So the length of the string is 5, and each character of this particular string or any string will consist of a number. That number is known as index. There are two types of indexing system. One is forward indexing, other is backward indexing. Let's see what these indexes are. So if the indexing of strings begins from 0 to length minus 1 from the left, it is called forward indexing. As you can see here in the diagram, if the string index begins from 0, means if the first character has the index 0, second character has the index 1, third character has the index 2, fourth character has the index 3, fifth character has the index 4, then it is known as what? Then it is known as forward indexing. Alright. Next, if the indexing of strings begins from minus 1 to minus length from the right, it is known as backward indexing. As you can see in the figure, if the indexing begins from the right and the indexing starts at minus 1 and goes up to minus length, then it is known as backward indexing. Now what is the length of the string India? The length of the string that you can see in your screen is 5. Therefore the indexing, if I am talking about backward indexing, it will begin from minus 1 to minus 5 starting from the right. Now let's see how do we access the items of a string. Before that, let us see the things a little bit more practically. So for that, let me open ideally. There, let me go to the Python shell. So here this is Python shell. So if I have to declare a string, I can take any variable. Let's say x equals to India. So this is a string. Also, if I enclose it within single quotes, then also it is fine. It will work fine. Okay, then it will work fine. If instead of single quote or double quote, if I use triple quotes, then also it will work just as fine. Here I used capital X by mistake, therefore I was getting an error here. So what is string? It is a group of characters enclosed within quotes which may be single, double or triple quotes. Just now we learnt about indexing of strings. Now if I want to see the value or the character at a particular index, then it is known as accessing a string. Let us see how to access the individual elements of a string. So the individual elements of a string can be accessed by using its index. What is the syntax for accessing the elements of a string? It can be accessed via the following syntax. We need to specify the name of the string followed by the index within the third bracket. For example, if the string is India, if I have to access the element at the index 0, which is I need to write x and within bracket I need to specify 0. Then what will be returned? The element that is in the index 0 will be returned and it will be shown in the output. If I write x2, what is the element in the index 2? It is D, so D is returned. It's not that you have to use only the forward index. If you want, you can use the backward index also. So if I write x minus 1, as you already know, the negative index begins from the right hand side. X minus 1 means which character is present at the index minus 1, it will be returned and shown in front of you. So what is the character present at the index minus 1? It is A, so A is returned in front of you. If I write x minus 3, the character at the index minus 3 will be returned in front of you, which is D in this case. Let me show it to you practically. So if I open the interactive mode, now here what is the string? The string is India. So if I type x0, the character at the index 0 is shown. If I type x3, the character at the index 3 means I 0, 1, 2, 3, it is shown. If I type x4, the character at the index 4, that is A, will be shown. Now if I try to give such an index which is not present, now here what is the maximum forward index here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I try to give here, let's say 6, there is no character at the index 6. So if I give x6, it will give me an error. If you can just read the error, it says that string index out of range. So as you are accessing a string, you must keep in mind that you need to pass on valid string indices only. If you try to give such a string index which is not present there, then it will result in an error. I can even use the backward index. If I write x minus 2, it will return me I. So if I give x4, x3 or x minus 2, it means the same thing. Negative index means I am talking about the backward index. Positive index means I am following the forward index. Next, let us see the concept of traversing a string. Now, what is the meaning of the word traversing? Traversing means if we have a string and we visit each character of the string one after another, it is known as traversing. So, traversing refers to iterating through the elements of a string one character at a time. So let us consider the previous string which we have been considering till now, that is India, and these are the indexes. I am talking about the forward index of the string. Now if I visit the first character, that is I, then I visit the second character followed by the third character followed by the fourth character and finally the fifth character. Now here what I am doing, I am visiting each and every element of the string one character at a time. So if I visit each and every element of a string one character at a time, then it is known as the concept of traversing a string. Now we'll see how to traverse a string using Python. Alright, so let's go and do the programming part of it. Also, one more thing, if I want to receive a string from the user, I need to use a function known as input function. That also I'll be showing it to you now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to perform traversing a string. Alright, so here let's take a variable x and I'm going to receive the string from the user. So for receiving a string from the user, we use a function known as the input function. This I have already told you in the chapter on Python fundamentals. So here I'll give a display message here like enter a string to traverse. So whatever string will be entered by the user, it will be stored in the variable x. So now x will have the string that will be entered by the user. So for display, let us give a print function here, and I can simply give here string after traversing, and here I can use the concept of loop. For traversing the elements of a string, you need to use the concept of loop. Here I am using the for loop for I in x, print I. So how this loop is working, that I'll explain it to you separately. First let me show you the output. So if I run it, it is asking me to enter a string to traverse. I'll enter, let's say, any string, let's say India. Then the string India is displayed one character at a time. At first I is displayed, then N, then D, then I, and then A. I can see it with any other string. If I see it with the string, let's say cat, cat, now each character of the string cat is displayed one after another. Now let's try to understand how this program works line by line. So what is the first line? The first line says you to enter a string to traverse. So if I assume this to be my output screen, let's say this is my output screen. What will be displayed as the first line of the output screen? It will be displayed as follows: enter a string to traverse. Let's say you enter the string as India. This string will be stored in the variable x, and as we know, each character of a string is assigned an index. Let's say I'll give the index here, which is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. For simplicity, we are talking only about the forward index here. So I hope that the first line is clear. Then let's go to the second line, which says the string after traversing. Here I have simply used the print function, so simply it will be printed in the output screen, that is string after traversing. Here what we have, this part is known as the loop. If you are not very clear with the concept of loop, you can watch my videos on the chapter on flow of control. So here what I have, for I in x, that means for I in x. Now what is stored at x? The string, sorry, I'll have to write it in all caps. The string India is stored at the variable x. Now how does a loop work? The variable I, at first it will take the value capital I and it will come inside the loop. Inside the loop means this line. Now what is the line, what is the first line inside the loop? It says print I. Now what is stored at I? I, capital I is stored in the variable I. So what will be displayed in the output screen? Capital I will be displayed in the output screen. After that, it will process the next element of the loop. Loop is such a thing which after it runs one, it will run again and check the next element, which is n in this case. It will take n and it will come inside the loop, and then what is written there? Print I. So what is stored at the character I now? N is stored, so n will be displayed in the output screen. Then in the next iteration, I will take the value as D, and there what is there inside the loop? Print I. So the value of I is D. Similarly, in the next iteration again we have I, so I will be printed, and then in the next iteration we'll have A, so again A will be printed here. So finally, this is the output that you can see in the output screen. So here what we are doing, we are accessing each element of the string one after another. It is a very simple concept, but it is used in processing various sequences in strings, which we will be seeing in the upcoming classes. I hope the concept of traversing is clear to you. So let me just show you the code once more for revision. So here this is the code where I accepted a string from the user and traversed it, and this is the output. You can give any string for that matter. Now let us see how to traverse a string in reverse order. Now what is the meaning of traversing in reverse order? Reverse order means if I give the string India, and if I want that at first the last element is processed, that is A, then the second last, that is I, then the third last, that is D, then followed by N, and finally A. This is known as traversing in reverse order. Now let's try to see a program to check how to traverse a string in reverse order. At first I'll do the program and then I'll be explaining you line by line. Alright, so at first it is the same. Now let me give the name of the program as a comment. I hope you understand about comments. Traversal in reverse. Alright, so at first I'll accept the string from the user. For accepting, I'll be using the input function. So I'll give here enter a string to traverse alright, the string will be stored in. Then we'll find out the length of the string. So for finding out the length of a Python object, we use a function called len function. Now the string is stored in the variable x, so I'll be giving len of x. So length of the string x will be found out and it will be stored in the variable y. After that, what I'm gonna do is I'll be printing the string after traversal, string after traversal. Okay, now my intention is to traverse in reverse order, so I'll be giving the loop something like this for I in range. Now if I want to traverse in the reverse order, I need to take help of the backward indexing. Now backward index begins at which number? It begins at the number -1. So I'll be giving -1 and then I need to move backwards. So for moving backwards, I'll give minus length -1. Now by default, I have already discussed this concept in loop. Loop moves always in the forward direction, but if I want it to move in the backward direction, I need to give a step value of -1 here. So I'll be giving a step value of -1 and then I'll be printing the indexes which is stored in I one after another. Don't worry, I'll be traversing the loop line by line just as I did in the previous question. So here let me run this program. So what it is showing, it is asking me to enter a string to reverse. Let me enter the string as India itself, and it is, as you can see, it is displaying the string India itself but in the backward direction. Here also we are accessing each item of the string but in the reverse order. Now let us try to understand each line of this code one after another. Okay, so let's assume that this is your output screen. I hope first line is clear. Enter a string to traverse. I'll be writing in short. Enter a string to reverse. Let's say you entered the string as India. India will be stored in the variable x, and there we'll have the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Since I'll be traversing in the backward direction, let me show the negative indexes also, that is -1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 and also minus 5. Then in the second line, what is done? Y equals to len x. Now what is the length of x? Length means the number of characters of x. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the result is 5. So in the variable y, what is stored? 5 is stored. So what will be printed in the next line? String after traversing. So if, as this is the output screen, I am writing the output here. String after traversing. Then let's go to the next line. In the next line we have for I in range minus 1 comma minus y minus 1 comma minus 1, and here we have print x I. Now here what is the value of y? The value of y we have already got as let me change the color of the pen. Now the value of y we have already got as 5. So here what we'll have? Minus 5 minus 1, that means minus 6, and here we'll have minus 1. So the range now is minus 1 comma minus 6 comma minus 1. This minus 1 will help in moving in the backward direction. So what will be the possible values in this range? The possible values in this range will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 and minus 5. As we already know that range function takes value in the range of lower limit to upper limit minus 1. What is the lower limit here? Lower limit is minus 1. What is the upper limit here? It is minus 6. Alright. So at first what will be the value of I? The value of I will be minus 1. So it will take minus 1 and it will come inside the loop. What is the line inside the loop? Inside the loop we have x I. So x I means what is the value of I? It is minus 1. So what is stored at the index minus 1? A is stored at the index minus 1. So that will be printed in the output screen. After that the loop will again iterate. This time the value of I will be taken as minus 2 and then again it will come inside the loop. What we have? Print xi, that means x minus 2. Minus 2 means what is stored there? I is stored in the index minus 2. So I will be displayed in the output screen. Again similarly the same pattern will continue. Next time the value of I will be how much? It will be minus 3. So what is there inside the print function? xi, the value of I is minus 3. What is located at the index minus 3? D is located at the index minus 3, and the same pattern will continue. Next time value of I will be minus 4. What is located at minus 4? And next time value of like I will be minus 5. What is stored at minus 5? I. So I will be displayed in the output screen. Now all the values of I are being used up, so it will be displaying the output as shown here by a circle. So this is how we like traverse a string in the reverse direction. For revision, let me show you the code once again. This is the code for traversal in reverse order and this is the output. While receiving the string, you can give any input as per your choice. You can even give numbers also. Alright, so that's all for this session. I hope that the session was useful. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Hello and welcome to the chapter on string manipulation. This is the part 2 of this particular chapter, and in this part we are going to discuss about operators in strings. So let us begin with our part. So the first topic that we are going to discuss here is operators. So let us try to understand what are operators. To define it, we can say that operators are symbols that trigger some computation when applied to variables, constants and other objects. So what are operators? They are some symbols. Symbols like plus, minus, multiplication, division, greater than, less than, etc. Now when we apply these symbols, like for example let us take plus, if I apply this plus to some objects like 5 and 6, it will give us a result as 11. So these are some symbols that trigger some computation when we apply it to certain variables or constants or certain other Python objects. Now let us see what are the different types of operators. The different types of operators are as follows. The first type of operator is the concatenation operator. It is denoted by plus. Plus is used for two purposes. One is concatenation and other is for addition. Here, since we are discussing the operator plus with respect to strings, here it is known as concatenation operator. The meaning of the word concatenation is joining. We will discuss this operator in details in a few minutes from now. The second type of operator in string is the replication operator. It is denoted by the multiplication symbol, but the operation that will be triggered after applying replication operator is different here. Next we have the membership operator, comparison and comparison operators. So let us begin with the first type of operator in string, that is the concatenation operator. So what do we mean by concatenation? Concatenation refers to joining strings. If there are more than one string and then we need to join those two strings, then it is known as concatenation. It is denoted by the plus symbol. This operator creates a new string by joining the two operand strings. So what it does, it joins the two strings and it will give you a new string as the result. What is the syntax or the rule for applying the concatenation operator? The rule is that there are two strings and we need to add the two strings. That means we need to put the two strings within quotes and it must be divided by the plus or the concatenation operator. So let us see an example related to that. If I write computer plus science, then it will give me the result as computer science. What it will do, it will simply join the two strings. This operator, that is plus, works in situation where both operands are numbers or strings. Now how does the plus operator work? If we give the both operands as numbers, it will fetch me the result as 12 if I do 10 plus 2. Again, combining numbers and strings with plus operator results in error. For example, let us see the case here. Here we have race plus 3. Race is a string and 3 is a number, and this is prohibited in Python. If we try to do like this, it will result in an error, as we can see in our screen here. Before going to the next type of operator, let me just give you a description, a brief practical demonstration of the concatenation operator. Let's say I'll write some string, let's say Python plus, let's say, is fun. Both of these are strings, and if I give the plus operator or the concatenation operator in between and press the enter key, it will give me the result as Python is fun. If I take one as a string and the other as a number, it is not supported in that way. So it will result in an error. So let us go to the next type of operator in string, that is the replication operator. Now let us try to understand the meaning of the word replication. Replication refers to displaying a string for a given number of times. So if we want to repeat a string for n number of times, we will use the replication operator in strings. It is denoted by the multiplication operator. This operator returns a new string by replicating a string for n number of times. Let us see the syntax related to replication and then we will be clear with what is meant by the latest line. So the syntax says that string into n. That means whatever we put within quotes, it is to be repeated n number of times. For example, here n refers to the number of times a string is to be replicated. If I want to repeat a string for 3 times, the value of n should be 3. If I want to repeat it for 5 times, the value of n should be 5. For example, if I write Python into 3, what it will do? It will replicate the string Python 3 times, like it will show as Python, Python, Python. Let's see a note here. This operator works in situations where both operands are numbers or one string and the other a positive integer. So if both the operands are numbers, for example 3 into 2, it will give me a result as string. Or if one is string, let's say Python, and the other is a positive integer like 3, as we are seeing in the latest example here, it will give me the string replicated by the number which you write over here. A word of caution should be kept in mind here, which is using it with both operands of the string type generates an error. If we try to give both the operands as strings, then it will result in an error. For example, Python into Python, it will give me a error that it cannot multiply sequence by non-integer of type string. So before going to the next one, let me just give you a brief demonstration of the replication operator. For example, if I give Python into 3, let's say I'll give here 5. The syntax is string multiplied by n. Here n is the number of times that it should be replicated. So Python into 5 means Python will be repeated 5 times. If I give both as strings, then it will result in an error. So you should take care that one should be a string and the other should be a positive integer. Let's move on to the next type of operators, which is the category of membership operators. Let us try to understand what membership operators are. These are a set of operators that are used to check whether a character or a group of characters is contained in a string or not. It will be clear when we give some examples. Now there are two types of membership operators. First is in, second is not in. Let's see both these type of operators one by one, and then if you come back to this definition, you will understand what membership operator is. So the first membership operator, that is in, says that this operator returns true if a character or a substring is contained in a given string, comma, false otherwise. So if I put in Python J in Abhijit, here I use the membership operator in. So what it will do, it will find the character J in the string Abhijit. Now can you find it here? Yes, J is there in the string Abhijit, so it will return the result as true. If I write Jit in Abhijit, is the substring Jit contained together in the string Abhijit? Yes, the substring Jit is contained together in the string Abhijit. So it will result in the result as true. If I write Bi in Abhijit, is Bi contained together in the string Abhijit? They are not contained together. See, B is here and I is here. They are contained in the string Abhijit but not together. If they are not contained together, then it will result in false. So if that particular substring is contained in the given string, then it will return true, false otherwise. I think now you have got an idea about membership operators. Now if I take you back to membership operators, I think you will understand it. These are a set of operators that are used to check whether a character or a group of characters is contained in a string or not. They basically check whether a substring is contained in a string or not. So we have already seen the in membership operator. Let us go to the next membership operator, that is not in. This operator returns true if a character or a substring is not contained in a given string, false otherwise. So if something is not, if a substring is not contained in a given string, then it will return true, false otherwise. For example, if I write P not in Abhijit, yes, the substring P is not contained in Abhijit, that means this is a true fact, so it will return the result as true. If I write Ji not in Abhijit, but Ji is there in the string Abhijit, therefore it will return false. If I write Bi not in Abhijit, then you can see that Bi is not in the string Abhijit together, therefore it will return true. Okay, let me just give you a brief demo over here. If I write I in Python, I is not contained in the string Python, right? Therefore it will return the result as false. If I write yt in Python, yt is contained in the string Python, right? Therefore it will return the result as true. If I write yt not in Python, here I have used the membership operator not in. So if the string is contained, it will return false. Here the string is contained, therefore the result will be false. If it is not contained, let's say I not in Python, then since I is not contained in the string Python, therefore it will return the result as true. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next type of operator, that is the comparison operators. What are comparison operators? These are the relational operators. The relational operators are used in Python for string comparison. I think you remember what relational operators are. We studied about this in the chapter on data handling. So these are basically used for comparison. These are used for comparing numbers also, and like strings also, tuples also, lists also, etc. So here, since we are talking about string, these are supported in strings also, and here they are known by the name of comparison operators. Now relational operators, as we already know, it includes greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, not equals to, etc. This symbol is called not equals to, this is known as equals to. Comparison is done character by character based on their ASCII values. This part is very important. Now how the comparison will be done in case of strings? In case of numbers, we can easily say that some number is greater than the other, but how will the comparison be done in case of strings? In case of strings, the comparison is done one character at a time by using the ASCII values. ASCII is an encoding standard, and it stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now what it is basically, for each character in the keyboard, there is a definite code associated with it, which is a universal standard code, and that code is known as ASCII code. Now let me take you through the extended ASCII characters. We have a total of 256 characters here, and here our main point of discussion now is the alphabets. So if I like take you through the alphabets only. Now capital A has an ASCII value of 65 and capital Z has an ASCII value of 90. So this is the range of the capital alphabets. If I talk about the small characters ASCII values, they range from 97 to 122. Now we should note one thing here, that the priority or the values of small letter alphabets or the lowercase characters are greater as compared to the uppercase characters. See, uppercase characters, it begins from 65 till 90, but lowercase characters, the value begins from 97 to 122. So we should remember the fact that the ASCII values of lowercase characters are greater as compared to the uppercase characters. Now let us see some examples related to that. If I write Raj greater than Raj, both these strings seem similar, right? But if I compare them, they are not similar. Here we have capital R, here we have small r. But whose ASCII value is greater? The ASCII value of capital R will be smaller and small r will be greater. When we went through this topic on comparison, I said that comparison will be done character by character. So at first only the first characters are compared. That means capital R will be compared with small r. Now is capital R greater than small r? No, it's not. Therefore it will result in false. If I write Raj less than Rahul, Now at first capital R will be compared with capital R, but since these two are equal, we have not yet reached at a conclusion. Now if we do not reach at a conclusion, only then the second character will be compared. Now small a will be compared with this small a. Still we are not reaching at any conclusion. Therefore the third character will be compared. That means this J will be compared with H. Now we need to see which will have a higher ASCII value. J will have a higher ASCII value or H will have a higher ASCII value. J will have a higher ASCII value as compared to H, because if we count A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H comes before J, so obviously H will have a lower ASCII value as compared to J. But here it is said the opposite thing is said, therefore it is false. If I write Raj equals to Raj, here also uppercase and lowercase are different, so different ASCII values as we compare the first character, therefore it will result in false. You can try all these things. So if I write Elise not equals to Ankita, now first character is compared, we did not reach to any conclusion, therefore the second character is compared. Capital L is not equals to N. Yes, capital L and small n are not equal, therefore it will result in true. Alright. Now let us see how to find the ASCII value of a particular character. If I know a particular character and I want to see what is the ASCII value of that character, we use a function called ORD function or the ordinal function. The ORD function is used in order to find the ASCII value of a character. For example, if I write ORD A, the ASCII value is shown as 997, and from the chart we already know that the ASCII value of lowercase a is 97. If I write ORD capital C, now capital A is how much? 65, capital B should be 66, capital C should be 67. So as I press the enter key, I am getting the result as 67. Now if I know the value and I want to find out the character associated with that ASCII value, I can use the CHR function. So the CHR function is such a function that is used to find the character corresponding to a ASCII value. For example, CHR 65 will result in capital A. CHR 103 will result in G. We can go back to the ASCII chart and match it whether it is giving us the correct result or not. With this, hello and welcome to the chapter on string manipulation. This is the part 3 of this particular chapter, and in this part we are going to discuss about the concept of string slicing. So let's get started with the concept of slicing. So what do we mean by string slicing? String slicing refers to displaying only a part of the entire string. Suppose we have a string called India and we don't want to display the entire string India but only a part of it, then it is referred to as string slicing. Now how string slicing is done? String slicing is done in Python using a range of indices. Now as you already know from the part 1 of this particular video, of this particular chapter, each character in a string consists of a number. That number is known as the index. So each character has a particular number. That number is known as index. So string slicing is done in Python by using the concept of indexes itself. Now let's see the syntax by which the basic string slicing is done. The syntax goes as follows. We need to give the name of the string, and then within the third bracket we need to specify the lower limit and the upper limit. Here L stands for the lower limit index of the string and U stands for upper limit index of the string. We will discuss it with the help of some examples, and then it will be much more clearer. Python, after using this syntax, what Python will do? Python will return a string in the range of lower limit to upper limit minus 1. Let's see what I mean by this statement with the help of an example. So let's say I have a string called India and As I have already mentioned in the previous slide, each character of a string has a number associated with it. That number is known as indexes. Here we have indexes starting from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the length of the string. What is the length of the string? How many characters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So length of the string is 5. So indexes will go from 0 to 4. 0 to length minus 1, I mean. Each string has a name. Let's assume that the name of this string is x, and these are the indices, as I have already said just now. So if I want to do string slicing here, so for example, let's say I want to display NDI. So here what I am trying to do, I am trying to apply the concept of string slicing, because as we have already discussed in the previous slide, string slicing means what? String slicing means displaying only a part of the entire string. So let's say I want to display NDI. So for doing that, what I'll do? So at first I need to write x equals to India. I've given a name x to the string India. Now what did the syntax say? The syntax says that we need to give the name of the string, and within the third bracket we need to specify the lower limit and the upper limit. So here if I give x 1 is to 4, then what will be displayed? NDI will be displayed. So as we have already seen in the previous slide, the string indices in the range of lower limit to upper limit minus 1 will be displayed. So what is the lower limit here? The lower limit here is 1. What is the upper limit here? The upper limit here is 4. So which part of the string will be displayed? From lower limit, that is 1, to upper limit minus 1, that is 3. And as a result, the answer that we are getting is NDI. Alright. Now let's suppose I want to display I and DI. Then how will I write it? I'll have to write x and then within bracket the lower limit, that is 0, and since I want to display till the third index, I need to give one more index than that. Therefore, I need to give the index as 4. So if I give x 0 is to 4, then I'll get the result as I and D and I. In a string slice, the last character at the last index is not included in the result. As I have already repeated many times, the last index character will not be repeated here. So here if I see the latest example, what was the character at the last index? It is A, but has A come in the answer? A has not come in the answer. So always remember, when we do string slicing, the upper limit is not displayed. The character one lower than the upper limit will be displayed. Alright, so let's see it in the screen. So if I write x equals to India, if I display x, then entire string will be displayed, but if I want to slice it, then I need to give the string name, that is x in this case. If I want to display from 1 first to the third index, then I need to give 1 is to 4. I need to give one index greater than the requested character. So I am getting here NDI. So the index, the character at the index I is 1 is N, the character at the index 2 is D, and the character at the index 3 is I. And A resides at the fourth index, and the fourth index will not be shown in the output screen. Alright, now let's go to the next example. I'll take the same string, that is India, and here what I'll do, I'll be taking the backward indexes. I have already discussed what backward index is in the part 1 of this particular chapter. You can of course go and revise that concept before coming if you are not very clear with the backward index. So backward index starts from the right hand side from -1 to minus length. So it has begun at A, which is the rightmost character of the string, and it has ended at I, which is the first character of the string. So this is the backward index or the negative indices. Now if I want to use negative indices to slice a string, then also the syntax will be same. For example, if x equals to India, if I want to display N and D by negative index, then what I'll do, I'll have to write x -4 is to minus 2. The same rule will follow that the last index or the upper limit index character will not be displayed. As a result, ND will be displayed in the output screen. Now, one more trick is here. If I want to reverse a string, then the syntax is string name is to minus 1. So, if I write x is to minus 1, what it will do? It will simply reverse the string. So, I and DIA would be read as AIDNI. What it has done? It has simply reversed the string. So, the syntax is string name is to minus 1 is used for reversing a string. It comes quite handy many a times while programming for certain big programs like checking for a palindrome and stuff like that. So, you should remember this syntax, the shortcut trick for reversing a string. So, let me show you the concept of reversing. So, if I want to reverse India, then x is to minus 1 and it will give me the output in a reversed form. Let's see some more examples related to string slicing. These are the indexes, this is the string name and these are the indexes. Now, if I write x is to 4, what it means? It means I want to display the string starting from the first character to the upper limit index minus 1. That means what will be displayed here? Any guesses? Yes, if you have guessed I and DI, that is Indi, then it is correct. So, as you can see here, as I press the enter key, I will get the answer as I and DI. Missing index before colon is taken as 0. So, you should remember that if I do not give the lower limit index, but just the upper limit index, that means I want to slice the string starting from the first index, that is the 0th index, if I talk about the forward indexing concept. Next up, if I write x 3 is to, that means what am I missing here? I am missing the upper limit index. Then what will be the answer? You can predict here, and if your prediction is IA, then it is correct. So, it will be displayed as IA. So, if I do not specify the upper limit index, that is missing index after colon is taken as the last index. So, here it will be taken as the last index, that is 4, and hence the result is IA. So, now if I want to get the original string, there is a technique, that is string is to n plus string is to n string n is to, it will return the original string. Let's see what I mean with the help of an example. So, if I write x is to 3 plus x 3 is to, then I will get the result as I and DIA. That means I will get the original string. It will work with any index, even the negative ones. So, if I write x is to minus 2 plus x minus 2 is to, then also I will get the original string, that is India. This is just like a formula. Okay, so let me just show it to you and say you how or why it is occurring. So, this is our original string. So, if I write x 2 is to, that means what? From the second index 0, 1, 2, that is from D, I want to display till the end. If I write x is to 2, that means the lower limit index is missing. That means I want to display from the first character to the index minus 1. That means IN. And we have already seen the concept of concatenation in the previous part. If I join both of this string, if x is to 2 plus x 2 is to, what it will do? It will result in concatenation. That means it will give the original string as the result. I hope this concept is clear. Now let us go to another variation of string slicing, that is string slicing with step value. Sometimes we may not require the consecutive characters of a string. We might want to skip certain characters in between. If I want to do that, then I need to use the concept of step value. So, what is step value used for? Step value is used in order to skip certain characters of a string while slicing strings. Let's try to understand with an example. I have taken the same string into account. Now, if I want to display IDA, that means what? I am skipping one character in between. So, in this case, I need to take the help of step value. Let's see the syntax. The syntax says that string name, and then within third bracket we need to enclose lower limit is to upper limit is to step value. Step value means how many characters you want to skip. So let's say the string x is India. If I write x 0 is to 5 is to 2, that means display every second character of the string. That means what will be the answer? I, D and A. Now, if I want to display N and A, what will be the formula for doing that? X, that is the string name, then within the third bracket 1, that is the lower limit, is to 5, that is the upper limit, is to 3. Why 3? Because I have skipped 3 characters in between. So what it means? It means to display every third character of the string. So I'll get the result as N, A. It can be used even with negative indices. As you can see here, the indexes are changed. If I want to display N, I with the help of negative indexes, then also it will be supported with this concept. So I can write x minus 4, that is the lower limit, is to minus 1, that is upper limit. Obviously we need to give one less than the upper limit, is to 2. That means display every second character of the string. So as we can see here, it will be supported with the help of negative indexes 2, and the result is Ni. Alright, so let's try to see this. So if I display, if I write x 1 is to, let's say 5 is to 2, then what will be displayed? I will be displayed, the step value is 2 here, and will be skipped. Sorry, I have given what? Yeah, 0, 1, x1. Okay, let's display x here. So if I write 1 is to 5 is to 2, then what will be displayed? Ni will be displayed. Why Ni? What is the character stored at the index 1? N is stored at the index 1. Then the step value is 2. That means display every second character of the string. That means D will be skipped, and then the next character will be displayed, that is I. The upper limit is 5. That means 5 minus 1 is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth character will not be displayed here, because here I am using the step value as 2. Alright, this is how you can skip certain characters from a string. So it's not necessary that you need to display only consecutive characters. If you want, you can skip certain characters in between, as you can see here. You can of course take different kinds of string and experiment for yourself. Now, if I want to display the last n characters of a string, suppose question comes to display the last 3 characters of a string, then what is the syntax? Then the syntax is string name, then within bracket we need to give minus n is to. Okay, here we need to use the negative index here. What is the meaning of n? N means the number of characters to be displayed. So if x is India, x minus 2 is 2 means I want to display the last 2 characters of the string India. So minus 2 is 2 will fetch me what? It will fetch me IA. If I write x minus 4 is 2, that means I want to display the last 4 characters of the string India. That means NDIA will be displayed, and so on. Okay, so let me test it for you. This is x, that is India. If I write x minus 3 is 2, sorry, it is displaying the last 3 characters of the string India. If I write x minus 2 is 2, what it is doing? It is displaying me the last 2 characters of the string India. Alright, let's move ahead. and see the next concept, that is the concept of palindrome. Now, before going ahead, we need to know what palindrome is. What is a palindrome? A string that reads the same in both directions is called a palindrome. So, if we have a string, let's say Nayan, if I read it from left to right, it is reading as what? It is reading as Nayan. If I read it from right to left, what it reads? It will read the same, that is Nayan. Some other examples like Malayalam. If I read it from left to right or from right to left, it reads the same. Or LOL. If I read from left to right or from right to left, it will read the same. Left to right, right to left, it is the same. So such kind of strings which reads the same from both the directions, these are known as palindromes. Alright. Some examples of strings which are not palindromes are cat. If I read it from left to right, it is cat. If I read it from right to left, it is tack. So is it a palindrome? No, because it's not reading the same from both the directions. If I say ball, if I read it from left to right, it reads as ball. If I read it from right to left, it will read as LLAP. That means these are not palindromes. Okay. So now let us do one thing. Let us write a program to accept a string from the user and check whether it is a palindrome or not. Alright, so let me just do this program for you. You can try it by yourself by pausing the video here. Okay, so I'll write the name of the program here. Write a program in Python to accept a string from the user and check whether it is a palindrome or not. This is known as a comment. I hope you know about comments. Comments are not displayed in the output screen and it has no effect on the program. It is just for the user friendliness, for making the program more readable or understandable. It's a good practice to give comments at the start of any program. Anyways, let's begin with the program. We need to accept a string from the user. For accepting a string from the user, we use the input function. So let's take a variable, let's say it to be x equals to, let's say, input, enter a string to check for palindrome. Okay. Now someone can give a mix of uppercase and lowercase. So in order to remove that ambiguity, what we are doing, we are giving the lower function here. What lower function does, it will convert everything, even if we give it in uppercase, into a lowercase. More about that in the upcoming parts. Now, how to check? How can we conclude that a particular string is a palindrome? Now, if the string reads the same both ways, that means from right to left and from left to right, then it is known as a palindrome. Now, while showing you the concept of string slicing, I already said that for reversing a string, there was a syntax which is string name is to -1. We are going to use that concept here. So how to do that? If the original string, which is x equals to x is to -1. That means if the original string is equal to the reversed string, then we can conclude that it is a palindrome. Okay, so I can conclude that the string entered is a palindrome. All right. Otherwise, if this condition is not fulfilled, it's a very simple program. We can say that the string entered is not a palindrome. Okay. Now let me save this program. as by any name. You can give any name, just you need to give .py. Okay, something by that name exists. Now I need to run that program, so I'll go to run and click on run module. Okay, let me just close this shell and run again for better viewing angle. So if I run this program, what will come? Enter a string to check for palindrome. Let's say I give the string as Nayan. It is palindrome because it reads the same both ways, so it is being displayed that the string entered is a palindrome. Let me run this program again. Now let us give cat. Cat does not read the same both forward and backwards, therefore it is not a palindrome. So if I have to explain it, it's a very simple program. At first I received the string from the user, converted it into lowercase if I give it in uppercase or a mixture of uppercase and lowercase, and I have stored that string in the variable x. Then what I did, I compared the original string to the reversed version of the string. How to reverse a string? By the syntax is to -1. So if both of these are equal, then I displayed that it is a palindrome, and if it is not equal, then we have only one condition left, that is the string entered is not a palindrome. Alright, so here this is the program which we did just now, and here the first string is given as Malayalam and the string entered is a palindrome. Here why this lower is given, otherwise if I do not give dot lower for Malayalam, it will show that the string is not a palindrome, but since I gave dot lower, it will convert everything into lowercase and then it will check the result. If I use another concept or another input, then let's say I gave the input as Raju here, and it is giving that the string entered is not a palindrome. Alright, so today we'll do till this much only. I hope that the session is useful. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to the chapter on string manipulation. This is the part 4 of this particular chapter, and in this part we are going to discuss some functions related to strings. So let's get started with our first function, that is the len function or the length function. This function is used to find out the length of a string. Now what do we mean by the length of a string? It counts the number of characters in the string. So this function is used to determine how many characters are there in a particular string. Let's take you through the syntax. The syntax goes as follows. We need to write len, and then within the first bracket we need to enclose the string for which we want to find out the length. For example, if I write len India, how many characters are there in the string India? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the result will be displayed as 5. Second example, if I write len Python, Python has 6 characters, so the result will be 6. If I need to show it to you, I can easily do it. Let's say len India. You will find out for me. You can use any other string. Let's say India is my country. Okay, so it is giving the length as 19. Now while counting the length, the spaces are also counted as a character. So let's count if it comes out to 19 or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, space is 6, 7, 8, again space 9, 10, 11, space 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we can see that while counting the number of characters, space is also counted as one of the characters. Alright, now let's go to the next function, which is the capitalize function. Now what it does, this function is used to return a copy of the string with its first character capitalized. So what it will do, it will return a string by capitalizing the first character of the string. It will be clear as we go to the examples. So the syntax goes as follows: string dot capitalize. So for example, if the string is Alice, which is stored in the variable x, then if I write x dot capitalize, it will return me a new string where the first character is capitalized. If I look at the initial string, here Alice, the the first character of Alice is in lowercase, but because of the uses of this capitalized function, the first character is being converted into uppercase character. Let's see some more examples. Let's say Mumbai dot capitalize. Here you can see that there is a mixture of uppercase and lowercase characters. But what capitalize will do? It will put the first character, that is M, as capitalized, and if there are certain characters which are in uppercase, those will be converted into lowercase. Alright. Next, I love my India. Here also certain characters are in uppercase, certain are in lowercase. So what capitalize will do? It will convert only the first character, that is I, into the uppercase. Other characters, even though if we give it in uppercase, it will be converted into lowercase. Alright, so let's show it to you practically. If I write X, let's say X equals to I love my country. Okay, let's give I in lowercase characters. Then in the next line, if I use the syntax, that is string name, that is X dot capitalize, what it will do? It will convert the first character of this particular string into uppercase. Here you can see that C has been given in uppercase, but even then it is converted into a lowercase character as per the format of capitalize function. Alright, now let's take you through the next function, that is the title function. What it does, this function is used to return a copy of the string with the first character of each word. Remember the string, first character of each word. In capitalize, we capitalized, or Python capitalized the first character of the entire string. But here it will capitalize the first character of each word into uppercase if it is in lowercase. Alright, so it goes as follows: string dot title. This is the syntax. So if I write welcome to India dot title, how it will fetch me the result? It will fetch me the result by capitalizing the first character of each word. Like for example, in this string, W has been capitalized, T has been capitalized, and I has been capitalized. That because the first character of each word will be capitalized here. Now if the first character of a word is already in uppercase, there is no change. For example, here welcome to India 2020 dot title. Here you can see W has been capitalized, T has been capitalized, but I was already in uppercase. If it is already in uppercase, then there will be no change. This also we can implement and show it to you. If I do, let's say X dot title. X is the original string. If I press the enter key, you can see that I has been capitalized, L has been capitalized, M has been capitalized, and C was already in caps. So there is no change over here. Alright, I hope this thing is clear. Let's move to the next function, which is the count function. What it does, this function is used to return the number of times a specified substring appears in a given string within the range of indices. It may not be very clear from the text, but as we go to the example, this line will be much more clearer. So what it does, it returns the number of times a substring appears. Now what do we mean by substring? Substring means a part of a string. If from the entire string we consider only a part, that part is referred to as substring. If the range is not specified, it returns the specified number of items from the entire string. Let's try to understand with the help of an example. This is the syntax: string.count, within quotes we need to put the substring, comma the starting index, comma the final index. So we'll try to understand it better with the help of an example. Here, as I go with the syntax, at first what I need to write, I need to write the string. Let's say the string here is fear leads to anger and anger leads to hatred. Dot count leads. So what it will do? Here I have not specified the starting index and the final index. Here leads is the substring. Substring means a part of this original string. It will count the entire string. It will count from the entire string how many times the word or the substring leads has occurred. The answer is 2. Why the answer is 2? Because leads has occurred 2 times in the entire string. Now if I consider a second case where I use the same string, that is fear leads to anger and anger leads to hatred, dot count, then substring I gave as leads again, comma 3, 11. That means what it will do, within this range 3 and 11, it will see how many times the substring leads has occurred. So if I count the indexes, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. That means from this particular position it will start searching for that particular word. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I give the final index as 11, it will search till the index 10. So from 3 to 10, 10th index, how many times the substring leads appeared? It appeared only one time. Therefore, the answer here is 1. Alright, so I can show it to you with the help of an example. So I can write something like my favorite subject is computer and I enjoy studying computer a lot. Okay, this is the string. Dot count. If I give the substring as computer, I have not specified any index here. So what it will do, it will search for the string computer from the entire string. So how many times computer appeared? 1, 2. Therefore the result is true. Now if I use the same string or the same command once again, but now if I specify the range of index, let's say I specify the range of indexes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So if I give here 20, 40, what it will do, between the index from 20 to 40, that means from 20 to 39th index, it will search how many times the substring computer has occurred. So as I press the enter key, it is showing me 1. So if you count the index, you will find that this particular word computer, the first occurrence of the word computer is located between the index 20 and 40. 40 means 1 less than 40 we need to check till 39. But this particular computer is not counted. Why? Because it does not fall within this particular limit, that is from 20 to 39. Is it clear? I hope that it is clear. Let's move you to the next function, that is ALNUM. That means ALNUM means alphanumeric. This function is used to test if all the characters of a string are alphanumeric or not. At first we need to understand what is the meaning of the word alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means a character that is either an alphabet or a number. So it will check if all the characters of a particular string are either a character or a number or not. So it returns true if all the characters are alphanumeric, false otherwise. So if all the characters of a string are alphanumeric, then it will return true. Even if one character is not alphanumeric, it will return as false. Let's see the syntax. The syntax goes as follows. String dot is alnum. For example, if I take x equals to James 007, now is it alphanumeric? Yes, because it consists of characters and numbers. So if I write x dot is alnum, it will give me the result as true. Let's consider another example like James $07. Are all the characters only numbers and alphabets? No. Here we are having this dollar, which is a symbol. And since we have at least one character which is not alphanumeric, on giving x dot is alnum, it will give me the result as false. Alright, so let's test it and see it for ourselves. So if I write x equals to, let's say ABC 1 2 3, x dot is alnum, it will give me the result as true. But if I give y equals to ABC $32 and then y dot is alnum and press the enter key, it will give me the result as false, because here we have characters or alphabets and numbers, but along with that we are having a symbol also. That means the entire string is non-alphanumeric, therefore it is giving me the result as false. In the previous example, the entire string is alphanumeric and hence the result is given as true. Let's take you to the next function, which is alpha. Is not alnum, it's alpha. So what it does, this function is used to test if all the characters of a string consist of alphabets or not. It will check if all the characters are alphabets or not. If all the characters are alphabets, so alphabets means it may be lowercase alphabet or it may be uppercase alphabet also. What it does, it returns true if all the characters are alphabets, false otherwise. Let's see the syntax. Syntax is the simple one, string dot is alpha. Now if I use it to actual practice, India 01 dot is alpha. Are all the characters of India 01 alphabets? No, it's not. Therefore the result will be false. If I write India dot is alpha, are all the characters of this particular string alphabets? Yes, hence the result will be true. You can test it for yourself in the interactive mode. It will definitely work for sure. Let's take you to the next function, which is digit. What it does, from the name only we can understand. If you tend to forget in your exam, from the name only you can make out what it does. This function is used to test if all the characters of a string consist of digits or not. So what it does, with the help of this function, Python tests if all the characters are digits or not. Digits consist of 0 to 9. Except 0 to 9, it cannot contain even 0.2. Point does not fall under digits. So what it does, it returns true if all the characters are digits, false otherwise. So if all the characters are digits, it will return true, otherwise false. How does the syntax go? The syntax goes as follows, which is string dot is digit. So if the string is 2022, all the characters are digits, so 2022 dot is digit will fetch you true. If I write 12.31 dot is digit, here we have a symbol called point which does not comes under 0 to 9, therefore it will return as false. Third example is obviously false because here we have alphabets along with digits. So the result will be what? The result will be false. Let's go to the next one, which is lower. What it does, this function is used to test if all the characters of a string consist of lowercase alphabets or not. Lowercase alphabets means from small a to small z. It returns true if all the alphabets are in lowercase, false otherwise. So if all the characters of a string are in lowercase alphabets, then it will return true, otherwise false. Syntax goes as follows, string name dot is lower. So if I write India dot is lower, are all the characters in lowercase? It's not, therefore the result will be false. Let's take you to the second example, India dot is lower, are all the characters in lowercase? Yes, therefore the result is true. Next example, India 2020 dot is lower, are all the characters in lowercase? No, therefore the result is false. See, these functions are very easy if I see them individually, but while you appear for your exams or while you are implementing, you have a number of functions. So the main thing is, if you practice properly, only then you will be able to recall it, otherwise it will be very difficult. Next is upper. It's the opposite of is lower. So what it does, let's take you quickly through that. This function is used to test if all the characters of a string consist of uppercase alphabets or not. Uppercase means capital A to capital Z. It returns true if all the characters are in uppercase, false otherwise. It has the same syntax as the previous function, that is string.isUpper. Let's take you through some examples. India.isUpper. Are all the characters in uppercase? No. NDIA is in lowercase, therefore the result will be false. India.isUpper. Are all the characters in uppercase? Yes, therefore the result will be true. India 2020.isUpper. Are all the characters in uppercase? Yes, therefore the result will be true. I need to test this out. India 2020. India 2020 dot is upper, because it consists of numbers also. Yes, it will return true, because even though it consists of this numbers, all the alphabets are in uppercase, therefore it will fetch you the result as true. Alright, let's move to the next function, that is space. What it will do, this function is used to test if all the characters of a string consist of white space characters or not. White space means whenever we press the spacebar key, some gap is left. That gap is known as white space characters. White space characters can be generated not only by the spacebar key but also by the tab key, which you find towards the upper left corner of your keyboard. It returns true if all the characters are white space characters, false otherwise. What is the syntax for eSpace? String.eSpace. As the previous functions, this also has the same syntax. So if I put some kind of gap, if all are gap, dot is space, it will return me true. We have certain spaces, but in between we gave a dot. That means, are all the character spaces? No, therefore it will return me the result as false. Let me show this one. So I'll give many gaps, dot is space. Are all the character spaces? Yes, so it will return true. If I have some gap, dot, then again certain things, then again certain gap, dot is space. Are all the characters space? No, it's not. Therefore the result is false. Let's take you to the next function, that is the lower function. What it does, this function is used to convert all uppercase characters of a string into lowercase characters. It will convert everything that is in uppercase into a lowercase character. The syntax is string.lower. For example, India.lower. You can see that this particular string India has a mixture of both uppercase and lowercase. But as I use the dot lower function, everything will be converted to lowercase. We used this function in the previous part of this particular chapter while checking whether a string is palindrome or not. In the input function, if you go through the previous video, you can see that after the input function I gave dot lower. Dot lower means whatever string will be entered by the user, everything will be converted into lowercase before proceeding. India.lower, here everything is already in lowercase, so it will return the same string. Got it? If I write India 2020.lower, whatever can be converted into lowercase will be converted into lowercase characters before proceeding. We have a similar function here, that is the upper function. What it does, this function is used to convert all lowercase characters of a string into uppercase characters. The syntax goes as follows: string dot upper. So India dot upper, what will be done here? Everything will be converted into uppercase characters. If I give India dot upper, where the first character is in upper, others are in lower, here as I give the upper function, everything will be converted into uppercase characters. India 2020 is a mixture of uppercase and lowercase characters. So whatever is in lowercase, it will be converted into uppercase characters. Alright. So as you can see here, India 2020 is the answer here. Let's go to the next function, that is find function. What it does, this function is used to find the first occurrence of a particular substring in a given string within a range of indices. So within a particular range, this is a little similar to the count function, but it will check whether a particular substring is contained within a given string within a particular range. It will be clear as we go to further examples. It returns -1 if the substring is not present in the given range. If within a particular range a substring is not found, then it will return -1. It searches for the entire string if the range is not specified. If we do not specify the range, just like count function, what it will do, it will search for the entire string. The syntax goes as follows: string dot find, within bracket we need to specify the substring which we want to find, comma the starting index, comma the final index. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of the find function with the help of some examples. So let us consider a string, my name is Raj. The indices of each character is shown in front of you in your screen. So if I give my name is Raj dot find name comma 5 comma 10, what it will do, in the range 5 comma 10 means in the range from 5 to 9, it will check whether the substring name is present or not. So see for yourself, within this range, within the range is marked by arrow, can you find the substring name? No, you cannot find the substring name. Therefore, it will return as -1. It will not return true or false. It will return -1 if the particular string or substring is not found within the given range. Let's take another example. My name is Raj dot find name comma 1 comma 8. 1 comma 8 means between the parts marked by arrow. 1 comma 8 means 1 comma 7. Between the range from 1 and 7, do you find the substring name? Yes, we find it. Therefore, the starting index of the first character of the substring will be displayed. What is the starting index of the first character of the substring? As you can see here, highlighted by a big arrow, it is 3. Therefore, 3 is returned in front of you. I am repeating again, whatever range I give here, within that range it will find whether that particular substring is present or not. If it is present, so is it present in our case? Yes, it is present. It will return the index of the first character of that particular substring. What is the index of the first character of this substring? It is 3. Therefore, 3 is returned as the output. If I consider another case where I do not specify the range and give my name is Raj dot find name, here I haven't specified the range, so it will continue to search the entire string, and within the entire string, if it finds the substring name, it will return the first index of the, it will return the index of the first character n. What is the index of the first character n? It is 3. Therefore, 3 is returned in the output screen. If I try to search for something which is not present anywhere within the entire string, for example, my name is Raj dot find Alia. So what it will do, it will search for the entire string, And within the entire string, can you find the substring alia here? No, the substring alia is not present anywhere in the entire string. Therefore, what will be the result? The result will be -1. So with this, we come to the end of this particular part. I hope that the session is useful. I'll see you again in the next class. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to the chapter on string manipulation. This is the part 5 of this particular chapter, and in this part we are going to discuss some more functions related to strings. If you remember in the previous part, that is in the part number 4, we have already discussed few functions related to strings, but there are some more functions which we will be discussing in this particular part. So let's get started with our first function, that is the index function. Now what this function does, this function is used to find the first occurrence of a particular substring in a given string within the range of indices. So if we have a particular string, from that string, if I need to find the occurrence of a substring, then I can find out the index with the help of index function. It will be more clear as we go to the examples. Now if that particular substring which we want to find is not present, then it returns an exception called value error. Now how does the syntax goes? The syntax goes as follows. We need to specify the string dot index, and then within bracket we need to give the substring, then comma, starting index, comma, final index. This is the format which we need to follow in the index function. So let's see some examples related to index function. So let's consider a string, my name is Raj. After that, if I give my name is Raj dot index is comma 6 comma 10, then what it will do? It will check from the index starting from 6 till 9. Why 9? Because we already know that the upper limit is not considered. One less than the upper limit is considered. And between 6 and 9, it will check whether the substring is present or not. Is it present? Yes, it is present in index number 8. Therefore, the result will be shown as 8 here. Alright, let's take another example. If I write my name is Raj dot index, and then within bracket if I write is, here I have not specified any index. If I do not specify any index, it will scan the entire string starting from the left towards the right. And after scanning, will it find this particular substring? Yes, it will find at index number 8. Therefore, it will return the result as 8. Another format, let us see here. If I write my name is Raj dot index is comma 3. What it means? It means that starting from index number 3, it will look towards the right hand side. Index number 3 is which one? This one. From this index, it will look towards the right. And while looking towards the right, it will search for this substring. Now after the index 3, is the substring is present here? Yes, it is present at index number 8. Therefore, the result will be shown as 8 here. Again, let us consider another example. My name is Raj dot index is comma 3 comma 7. That means what it will do? It will search for the substring is within the indices 3 to 6. So within 3 to 6, that means from N till E, do you find the substring is? No, I do not find the substring is. Therefore, it will return a value error. If you remember in the previous slide, we already discussed that if that particular substring is not present, then I'll get an exception called value error, which mentions that substring is not found. Similarly, if I give my name is Raj dot index comma 10, then after the index 10, it will start searching towards the right whether the substring is present or not. It is not present, therefore it will return a value error saying that the substring is not found. Got it? Next is, if I give my name is Raj dot index alia. Here I have given such a substring which is not present in the entire string. If I give such a substring which is not present in the entire string, then also it will return a value error. Alright, I can show it to you here practically. So if I give, let's say, my name is Raj dot index is comma 6 comma 10, all right, and press the enter key, it will search from the index 6 till index 9th whether is present or not. Let's see, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, that means it will start from this, 7 8 9, yes, it will go till this. So from index 6 till index 9, is the substring is present? Yes, it is present. If it is present, it will return the first index of this substring, which is 8, which we have already seen in this particular example. Similarly, let's consider one more example. Let's say my name is Raj. I'll not show all the examples, you can try it out for yourself, but I'll just show you a few examples. So if I write my name is Raj dot index alia and press the enter key, you will find that the substring alia is not present anywhere in the string. Therefore, I am getting a value error here which says that the substring is not found. Let's move ahead and see the difference between find function and the index function. All right. So in the previous part, that means in the part number 4, we already studied about the find function, and here we are studying about the index function. Both these functions works most probably like around 99% similarly, but there is a subtle difference between find function and index function. In this slide, we are going to see the difference between find function and index function. These differences are very important from the examination point of view. Wherever you find minor differences, they are often asked in the examination. So now let's try to understand the difference between find function and index function. The first point says that find function returns -1 if the substring is not found. So if you remember the previous part concept regarding the find function, then whenever we used find function to find such a substring which is not present within the range, then it returned what? It returned -1. For example, if I write my name is Raj dot find is comma 3 comma 7, within the index 3 and 6, is the substring is present? Let's see, 0 1 2 3, that means searching will start from n, 4 5 6, it will end here. So between n and e, is the substring is present? It's not present, therefore it will return -1. Now if I talk about a similar situation with the index function, let's see what happens here. Index function returns value error if the substring is not found. Now if I use the same example and just replace the function find by index, here also within this range between 3 to 6, the substring is not present, but here I'll get the result as value error. Alright, that's the difference between find function and index function. Let's move to the next function, that is the starts with function. What it does, this function returns true if the given string starts with the substring passed as an argument, false otherwise. Now if you give a string and it starts with a particular substring, and that substring if you put as the argument, then it will return true. If you put such a substring by which it does not begin, then it will return as false. For example, if I give string dot starts with substring and take this as an example, hello Alice dot starts with he. Does the string hello Alice starts with he? Yes, it starts with he, therefore it will return true. Let's consider the second example, hello Alice dot starts with hi. Does it starts with hi? No, it does not start with hi. Therefore, it will return the result as false. I can store the string in some variable also. For example, x equals to hello, and then in the next line, if I give x dot starts with he, is it starting with he? Yes, it is starting. Therefore, it will return the result as true. That's the utility of the starts with function. we have a similar function called ends with. It works similarly, just the opposite of starts with. This function returns true if the given string ends with the substring passed as an argument, false otherwise. Now here it will check whether the given substring ends with the whether the given string ends with the given substring. If it ends, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. This is how the syntax goes. Follow with the example. If I write hello Alice dot ends with Ram, does it ends with Ram? No, it doesn't end. Therefore, it will return the result as false. In the next line, if I write hello Alice dot ends with CE, does it end with CE? Yes, it ends with CE. Therefore, the result will be true. Similarly, now let me just show it to you. So, if I write hello Alice dot starts with HELLO. Is it starting with hello? Yes. But if I give hello Alice dot starts with, let's say, ABC, is it starting with ABC? No, therefore it will return false. Similarly, we can test it with ends with also, dot ends with. If I write Ram here, is this string ending with Ram? No, therefore it will return the result as false. Let's move on to the next function, that is the replace function. Now what is the meaning of the word replace? Replace means in place of something we are putting something else. Let's see how it works. This function is used to replace an old phrase of data with a new phrase of data. If we already have a phrase of data and we want to replace it with a new phrase, then the replace function would be used. What is the syntax? The syntax is as follows. String.replace, we need to specify the old phrase, comma, the replaced phrase, that is the new phrase, comma, count. Count means how many times we want it to replace. It will be clear with examples. Here old phrase refers to the part of the original data. New phrase refers to a part of the new data. Here count is optional, which specifies the number of occurrences to replace. Count says how many times we want to replace that particular phrase. Let's try to understand with the help of some examples. So this is the syntax floating around at the top. Now if I write x equals to CS is cool and I love CS a lot, full stop, I really enjoy CS. Then in the next line, if I write x dot replace CS comma computer, that means I want to replace the substring CS with the substring computer. So wherever you find CS, it's highlighted by red here, it will be replaced by the substring computer. So as I press the enter key, this is the result. So here what is happening, wherever you had CS, it is replaced by the substring computer. In the next example, let us see another variation. If I write x dot replace CS comma computer comma 2, now what will happen? Now here how many times CS occurred? CS occurred 3 times, but out of 3 times, this is the value of count. If you compare it with the syntax, this is the value of count. Since the value of count is 2 here, so what will happen? Out of the 3 times that CS has occurred, 2 times it will be replaced. So the result is computer is cool and I love computer a lot, full stop, I really enjoy CS. The last CS is not being replaced. Why? Because I gave the value of count as 2. Therefore, the first 2 occurrences will be replaced and not the remaining ones. Got it? Let's move on to the next function, that is the join function. What it does? This function is used to join a string or characters after each character of the string passed as an argument. Let's try to understand with the help of syntax and examples. This is the syntax. String or character to be joined, dot join string. So here what happens? Whatever character or group of characters we want to join, we will put it initially. Dot join, to whom we want it to join, we will put it within the argument. Then what will happen? After each character of the argument put under join, this particular characters will appear here. So here, since I gave here underscore star underscore, so after each character, this particular characters are being joined here. Let's take another example. Here I put a few blank spaces, dot join hello. So what will happen? So these are blank spaces. After each character of this particular string, these blank spaces will appear here. This is how the join function works. Let's try to understand with the help of an example. You can try the replace function by yourself. So if I give here, let's say dollar dollar full stop dot join hello, and I press the enter key here. What will happen after each character? Whatever characters I gave initially, those characters have come here. Let's put some spaces here. If I put some space here, dot join hello, what will happen after each character? These many spaces will appear as the output. This is how the join function works. Let's move on to the next example, next function, which is the partition function. What it does, this function is used in order to split a string into three parts at the first occurrence of the separator passed as argument. What it does, it will split the entire string into three parts, and then it returns the result in the form of a tuple. So what it does, it returns a tuple containing three parts. First is the part before the separator itself, and the part after the separator. Let's see the syntax. The syntax goes as follows: string dot partition, and then within braces we need to specify the separator. Let's try to understand with the help of an example. So this is the syntax. Now if I have a string assigned in the variable x, where x is equals to my name is Raj, and in the next line if I give x dot partition, within bracket if I give name, now in the name the entire string will be separated into three parts. Here the first part is the part before the separator. Before the separator means, what is the separator here? If you compare it with the syntax, the separator is the name. Before name, what we have here? We have my. So my is the first element of the tuple. The second element is the separator itself, and the third element is what? Third element is the part after the separator, which is Raj. If I write x dot partition is, I'll get a tuple containing three elements: the part before the separator, that is my name, the separator itself, that is, and the part after the separator, that is Raj. Alright, let's take another variation here. For example, y equals to my sister ate one cookie and then she asked for one more. And then if I write y dot partition 1, what will happen? Here see, you can see that 1 has occurred multiple times. Here it has appeared once, and here it has appeared one more time. But it will separate it at the first occurrence of the 1. So it will divide the entire string into three parts: before the separator, that is my sister ate, separator, that is 1, and the part after the separator, that is cookie, and then she asked for one more. So the entire string is divided into three parts. Is it clear? I hope that it is clear. Before moving to the next part, let's show you some examples practically. For example, if I write x equals to my name is Raj. If I want to partition it by the substring name, I'll get a tuple containing three elements: the part before the separator, that is my, the separator itself, that is name, and the part after the separator, that is Raj. That is how the partition function works. Let's take you through the next function, which is the split function. What it does, this function is used to split. Split means what? Split means we are separating a string into certain parts. This function is used to split a string based on a given substring or character. So what it will do, it will split an entire string based on the character or the group of characters that you want to separate it with. It will be clear with examples. It returns a list containing the split strings as members of the list. Now in the previous part, in the previous function, it returned a tuple, but in this function it will return a list. The syntax goes as follows. Syntax is pretty similar to the partition function, which says that string.split, and within braces we need to give the substring or the character. For example, if I write x equals to my name is Raj, then in the next line if I write x.split name, in the substring name it will be splitted. So, but here the difference is that in the partition function this particular separator also came, but here the separator or the substring will not appear in the output. Now wherever the substring name will come, the string will be splitted, and that particular separator will not be a part of the output. So before name what we have my space, so my space has come, and after name what we have, space is Raj, so space is Raj is being displayed here. Alright, let's take another example. If I write x.split and I just give a space here, so what it will do, wherever space will occur, it will split the string. So here what is being done here, after my we have a space, so string is splitted. Then we have name, so name is the second element. Then we have a separator, so that separator is there. Then we have is, so is there. Then we have a separator, so it's gone. So then we have Raj, so Raj is the next element. So it will separate the entire string wherever you give the substring or the separator character. Here it's not necessary that it will be subdivided into 3 parts, but in case of partition it will subdivide into 3 parts only. Let's see the difference between both of this function. So if I write difference between partition and split, how it goes. Partition splits the string at the first occurrence of the given argument. For example, x equals to sister ate 1 cookie, wanted 1 more. So if I give x dot partition 1, what it will do? We have 2 occurrences of 1, but it will partition at the first occurrence of 1 only. This is the first occurrence of 1. So before that what I have, sister ate. What is the separator? It is 1, so 1 will be the second element, and after that what we have, cookie, wanted 1 more. So that will be the third element of this particular function. Alright. On the other hand, if I talk about split splits the string at any occurrence of the given argument. It does not matter whether it is first occurrence or second occurrence. Wherever that substring will occur, at that moment splitting will be there. For example, if I write x equals to sister ate 1 cookie, wanted 1 more. In the next line if I write x dot split 1, wherever 1 is present, at that moment the string will be splitted. So before 1 we have sister ate, this particular string will not come because it is splitted at this point. Then what we have, cookie comma wanted, so it's the second element, and after there we have another one, so after that we have more, so more is a part of the output. Here it returns the result in the form of a tuple. Look above, you will find that this is a tuple. How we can identify? I can identify by the first bracket. If something is represented in first bracket, that means it is a tuple. But in case of split, it returns the result in the form of a list. You will find that it is a list. Alright, so let me just show you the split function here. So here if I write x dot split name, what will happen? Wherever name occurs, at that part it will be splitted. So before name we have my space will be there. Name will not be a part of this because here we are using the split function, not the partition function. And after name we have space is Raj. So space is there, and after that is Raj is taken. So the difference is that partition splits it into three parts: the part before the separator, and the part after the separator. The result is returned in the form of a tuple. But split, what it does, wherever that particular separator is there, it will return the result in the form of a list by splitting at that point. So what will happen here, before name we have my space and name is there, and after that we have space and then is Raj. So that's the answer. Alright, next we'll go to lstrip. The next function is the lstrip function. This function is used to remove the leading characters from the left side of a string as per the argument passed to the function. Now, if I want to remove certain characters from the left side of a string, then I can use the lstrip function. And if I do not pass any argument, what will happen? Leading white space characters are removed. If we have some white space characters before a particular string, those can be removed by the lstrip function. So if no argument is passed to the function, leading white space characters are removed. It does not modify the original string but returns a new string with the specified leading characters removed. Here the original string is not modified, but a new string will be displayed with the specified leading characters removed. Let's try to understand with the help of examples. Before that, I'll give you the syntax here. Original string dot lstrip, and after that we have the leading characters that are to be removed here. Here leading characters to be removed is optional. If you do not give it, what will be removed? The leading white space characters, if any, will be removed. Let's try to understand it quickly with the help of some examples. So this is the syntax. So if I write hi, my name is Raj dot lstrip hi. So what will happen? Hi is present towards the left. So while displaying, it will be removed. So I am getting here space is there, comma, my name is Raj. If I write this one, here you can see I haven't given any argument to the lstrip function. So what will happen? The leading spaces, that is this much space, will be removed from the output screen. Now in the output you cannot find any leading white space characters because I have used lstrip without any argument. As already discussed in the theory, if no argument is provided, then it will return a new string with the leading characters removed, leading white space characters removed. Next is hi, my name is Raj dot lstrip by. Now here I am giving such a substring which is not present in the entire string. What will happen? Nothing will happen. If you give such characters which is not present, then there will be no change. As you can see here, specifying a string that is not present as a leading string has no effect on the original string. So if you give such a substring which is not a part of the original string, then also it will not show any error. It will return the string as it is. Next, if I give hi, my name is Raj x dot lstrip hi, then I'll get my name is Raj. Then in the next line, if I try to display x, what will happen? I will get the original string. So as already mentioned in the theory, lstrip function does not make any changes in the original string. There will be no change at all in the original string. Alright. So next we come to rstrip. It's pretty similar. What it does, this function removes the trailing characters from the right side of a string as per the argument passed to the function. It removes the characters from the right side of a string as per the argument. If I do not pass any argument, then the trailing white space characters are removed. It does not modify the original string, but what it does, it returns a new string with the specified trailing characters removed. It does not do any modification to the original string as it is there in the lstrip function. Okay, it's pretty similar to lstrip, just it removes the characters from the right side. This is the syntax: original string dot rstrip and the trailing characters to be removed. Trailing means characters from the right side, leading means characters from the left side. I'm going a bit fast because it's similar to the previous function. So let's take you through some examples. This is the syntax, and then if I write hi, my name is Raj dot rstrip aj, aj is present as the trailing characters. So in the output, my name is R will be displayed. Aj is being stripped here. If I write my name is Raj and do not provide any argument here, what will happen? The white spaces towards the right will be removed from the output screen. If I write my name is Raj dot rstrip Alice, it's not present anywhere in the string, so it will return the original string itself. So specifying a string that is not present as a trailing string has no effect on the original string. Alright, so then if I assign the string to a particular variable and then write x dot rstrip aj, then it will be displayed as my name is R. Now if I try to display the original string will be displayed. There will be no stripping being done here, because as already seen in the theory part, there won't be any change in the original string. Alright, so let me just show it to you. If I write here, let's say x equals, okay, x, I already have x like this. So if I write x dot r strip aj, what will happen? I'll get the result as my name is R. If I write x dot l strip means stripping from the left. If I write my, what I'll get? Name is Raj. Now if I want to display the original string is not modified. It is present in the original variable, that is x. So now if I give some space, okay, let me just take it a little forward. Okay, now if I give here, let's say x equals to, I'll give some space and write my name is Raj. After that also I have given some space. Now if I give x dot l strip without any argument, then what is displayed? The leading white space characters are removed. If I give x dot r strip, what is happening? The trailing spaces are being removed, as you can see here. If I do not give any argument, then and apply L strip, the leading white space characters are removed. If I do not give any argument and apply R strip, then the trailing white space characters are being removed here. Alright, let's take you through the next function, which is the strip function. Alright, so this function is used to remove both leading and trailing characters from a string as per the argument passed to the function. So what it will do? It will remove both leading and trailing characters also. That means it will do the removal from the left hand side also and from the right hand side also. If I do not pass any argument to this function, then the leading and trailing white space characters are removed. If no argument is passed, from both sides the white space characters are removed. This is the last function. It does not modify the original string but returns a new string with the specified characters removed. It's similar to L strip and R strip. It does not modify the original string, but it will just be displayed as per the stripping that is being done by you. This is the syntax: original string dot strip, and within braces we need to give the characters to be removed. Here characters to be removed is optional. Let's take you through some examples. This is the syntax here. So if I give dash 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 hello world dash 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 dot strip dash, what will happen? Dash will be removed from both sides, from the left hand side also and from the right hand side also, as you can see in the output screen. If I do not pass any argument, as you can see here, no argument is passed, then whatever white space characters are there, it will be removed from both the sides. So I'll get the result as hello world only. If I give xxxx hello world yy dot strip xy, so what it will do, wherever it finds the character either x or y, it will remove from both the ends. So from both the ends x and y are removed, so we are getting the result as hello world. If I give 1 2 3 space hello world 832 642, just some random natural numbers, dot strip, and within strip I gave from 0 till 9. So what it will do, wherever it finds any of these digits towards the left side and towards the right side, it will be removed. Okay, so left side and right side consist of only digits, and all these digits are present here. It may not be in any specific order, but these characters are present towards the left side and towards the right side also. Therefore what I'll get as the result, I'll get hello world as the result. Next, if I give dash dash hello world dot strip star star, is star star present here? No, it's not present, so there will be no change to the original string. So specifying a string that is not present has no effect on the original string. We notice similar kind of behavior in lstrip and rstrip functions also. Now if I assign the string to some variable, and in the next line if I give x dot strip that particular character, then I'll get the result as hello world. But if I try to display the original string, I'll find that there is no change in the original string. That's about the strip function. Alright, so with this we have come to the end of this part and to the end of this particular chapter as per the current curriculum. So this is the curriculum as per CBSE. So here these parts, the parts highlighted in brown, it's being discussed in the part 1 of this particular chapter. You can go through part 1. These parts, the part highlighted in blue, it's there in part number 2 of this particular chapter. The part highlighted in green is a part of the part number 4. The part highlighted in pink, it is in part number 4. The part highlighted in black, it's in part number 5, that is the current part. So with this we have covered each and every topic, not even a single topic is left from this particular chapter. I hope it is useful. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you.